watcher. Today I'm here with a Faber-Castell Loom, which is an interesting pen. So when I started on my fountain pen rabbit hole jump, I whenever I saw Faber-Castell pens, they have their own styling, shall we put it that way. It's generally not your generic shapes. They tend to do some interesting designs, and I thought at the time that they weren't really for me, but I have warmed to them in some cases, certainly, to their designs. Sorry, there's a hair there. So this is the Loom, which is a chrome metal pen. So forgive the lashings of fingerprints and stuff all over it. Hang on a sec. Let's give it a little polish. Here you go. Easily polished up, but as soon as I'm going to start touching it again, I'm going to get fingerprints all over it. So from the get-go, if you are averse to fingerprint magnets, this ain't going to be for you. So this particular one is the piano white cap. Technically, I suppose piano key white would be more accurate, but hey, some people are going to have white pianos, so who am I to talk? You can get different colour cap finishes, and there is an edition with like a gun metal as opposed to like the silver chrome metal that you see here, but just as shiny. So it's a click cap, snap cap, which works well. Some have like a chrome metal or gun metal section. This is more of a like plastic finish. So ironically enough, chrome or metal or shiny metal sections don't really bother me. I know some people find them slippy and whatnot, but it's never really troubled me too much. This one, it's like a matte, or it looks matte, but it's quite smooth. It's almost like a plasticky kind of feel. And you've got these ridges here, obviously, for grip, which help. But I actually find this more slippy than this. The metal kind of warms up a little bit, and you get a bit of purchase on it. And yeah, it's still going to be a bit slippy or whatnot. But I actually find this is more annoying to me. Doesn't bug the earth off me, but I'm more conscious of that than I would be if it was same as this, basically. And you got those ridges there; they do help, but Anyway, then you've got a Faber-Castell made steel nib, number 5 size. You can get these in extra fine, medium, broad. This one is a fine. You've got a plastic feed there. Just looking at the cap, sorry, it's not spring-loaded, i.e. you can't push that down and it springs up. However, there is obviously a bit of spring in there, so it is quite flexy without bending the whole thing. It's well made. That's metal as well, I believe. You've got a Faber-Castell logo on the top and kind of a dimpled finial on the back. Hello. You see me in there? The Faber-Castell on there. So the cap snaps on and it's pretty tight, so it doesn't rotate all over the place. You can, obviously, but it's not just whizzing around there. That's fine. Cartridge converter pen. Currently sporting a Faber-Castell converter, however, I'd buy that myself. So it doesn't come with a converter, which does annoy me, if I'm honest, but let's just get back to this. So you got the same kind of I'm not sure if I think there's metal in here, but it's kind of got this, I don't know, I'm not even going to say anodized, but kind of matte looking yet quite smooth finish. That's not sharp there or anything, so I don't know, same material at any rate. You've got a plastic sleeve there for the barrel threads as well. So yeah, converter not included. I can't remember, if I'm honest. It may have come with a cartridge. Presume it came with a cartridge. Yeah, converter not included. That always, that does annoy me. So the price point for these is, depending where you get them from and what the finish is, etc. I had a quick look up, and they're about £35 up to £50. It's going to differ depending on where you get it, but that's kind of the ballpark figure. I'd want a converter for that. I'd want a converter included in there, or I wouldn't mind if it was £5 more and there was a converter included. The converters are about £5, but it's just a pain to go and order a thingy separately as well. I wouldn't mind if it was more money and included a converter, but to go and do one separately always annoys me slightly. Especially these days where, you know, and look, the world's apart in terms of design and quality, and obviously it's an original design and put together with quality as Faber-Castell does. It's worlds apart from like a, you know, Jinhao, whatever. But you get a converter with one of them for £5, £10, £2 sometimes. I know it's very different. I'm just saying I wouldn't expect it cheap or whatever, but just include a converter, charge £5 more. I'm fine with that. You know, that's just me. It's just me, my personal thing. So anyway, yeah, you've got the spring and the clip, you've got the cartridge converter. It does post. So it posts quite nicely, quite deeply, and that kind of adds the design or character element to the pen. So if you're writing with that normally, it's pretty much a metal cylinder. The barrel's very straight, and then you've only got the patterning and whatnot when you get down here. I kind of want to write with this posted because it had the kind of, you know, the designs in the cap really, and I quite like the look of it. Trouble is, I want to gravitate to hold it quite low sometimes, and it kind of just brings that cap lip onto my hand, which annoys me slightly. If I hold it back a bit more like that, that's a bit more comfortable there, but I don't know. So I tend to gravitate to using it unposted because it just takes all that out of it, and no matter where I hold it, that's going to be okay for me. Hey ho, all personal taste that. Let's look at some measurements. Excuse me, Bill. So capped, uncapped, and posted measurements. It's not the longest pen in the world. The posted length is decent. As I say, it's just, that's going to be a personal thing. Weights, there is ink in it, so give or take a little bit. So capped and uncapped, and the cap itself is 7 grams. So not the heaviest, but not the lightest pen in the world. Obviously, it's metal, so it's a decent feel of quality, solidity, and a nice little weight in the hand there. The barrel is 11.7mm straight along, and the section starts at the same, obviously, as you can see, tapering or stepping down in increments there, ending up about 10.4 before you get to the end there. I wouldn't say there's a flare out. It's kind of, that's the nib unit there, so I believe that unscrews. So it's not really a flare out, so you could wander onto the nib there if you're not careful. Let's look at a comparison and do a writing sample. So to compare with some other pens, here is the Loom. Then you've got a TWSBI Diamond 580 and a Wingsung 630, which is that and a Jinhao X159 is my standard comparison for a Montblanc 149. Visconti Homo sapiens up here, and then the chunky Jinhao 1919. Going the other way, we've got some other Faber-Castell here. So you've got a Faber-Castell Ambition and a Faber-Castell Neo Slim, and a graph on Faber-Castell Guilloche. Sailor 1911 large, Diplomat excellence, and a Waterman expert. So shorter pen, still has a bit more girth than kind of your more standard Faber-Castells. I think one of the things I have with Faber-Castell is they're too thin for me generally. This is a little bit kind of more in my comfort zone, for the girth wise at any rate. So there is that comparison. Let's do a writing sample. So as per the usual, we have Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper. I'm sorry about the creaky chair, by the way, but what can you do? Oil it, I suppose. But yeah. So Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper, and we have a Faber-Castell Loom with a steel fine nib, Faber-Castell nib number 5. So Faber-Castell make their own in-house nibs, is my understanding, and have a very good reputation for doing such things. The ink in here today is KWZ or KWZ. Beefeater red. Good reputation on nibs. This is very good. Lives up to reputation. So yeah, it's lovely and smooth. Fine nib, remember, but a decent flow on a fine nib as well. Very nice writing experience. Just a tiny hint of feedback. A bit quicker. No problem keeping up there at all. For wetness, nice, not bad at all for a fine nib, in my general experience. Not a gusher, but very nice flow indeed. For line variation, you're getting a decent fine line. You can push that a little bit, mainly a bit more ink down, but you can get a wee bit of character there. Don't push too hard because it's on the stiffer side, but just with a teeny weeny bit of give. Very nice nib. And here we come generally to the reason that I have Faber-Castells knocking around. So look, I've already gone through kind of the bits and bobs and my likes and dislikes to a point. That section, it's okay. I don't know. I'd actually prefer it just to be chrome all the way through, but that's me. I do find myself, it's not so much slippy this way, but I find myself it slips that way a little bit, you know. So it's not like I'm slipping down, I'm kind of slipping off to the side. So that is something I'm conscious of. It doesn't render it unusable, but something to be aware of. Obviously, if you don't like shiny metal surfaces for fingerprint magnets, etc., this ain't for you. It's a nicely balanced pen. Feels good in the hand there. If you're a poster, it does that well. And just adds a bit of extra girth on the back there. You can hold that a little bit further back. My focus today, honestly. You can hold that a little bit further back and it's a bit better. Sorry, let me come back out a little bit. How's that? Not much better. Do you reckon I need like a proper camera maybe or something? Good God. Let's just stick with that, shall we? Yeah, so posts and everything. Clips usable. You got variety in caps. Look, it's not the most expensive thing in the world, 35 to 50. You get a very good nib. I mean, look, I've got and had a few Faber-Castell nibs, and they've all been really, really good. Especially for a fine like that, smooth with a decent flow, really, really good nib. So I think you can buy with confidence on that one. Yeah, so they won't be for everyone, design-wise, material-wise, etc. But if it's something you want to check out, not the most expensive thing in the world either. Decent pen. I do come and go back to it. So hope you found this relatively interesting. And I'll see you again next time. Take it easy, man. Bye.